I have joining me now via Skype a public affairs commentator, Adebayo Babatunde. He will be looking at the Nigeria electoral system, the challenges and frustrations the system has triggered in the past election. Now, it's good to have you join me, Adebayo. Now, when it comes to election, certainly everyone agrees that is the cornerstone of any democracy. Nigeria has had its own, and apart from the general election, there has been some staggered elections so far. How would you assess the progress we're making when it comes to entrenching the process of conducting elections in Nigeria?
Thank you very much for having me. I think the president's message on New Year is a very welcome development. I am aware that some people have been saying, especially from the PDP quarters, that the president, that it was needless for the president to say, to put that in his message. However, I actually think it is a necessary development. It was supposed to put that out into the public to take the fuel out of that flame, so that whatever psychophancy attitude you've got or ideas you've got, that is killed ab initio. Now, talking about election in Nigeria, you will agree with me that we've got a very bad history when it comes to that. We are not there yet. We are getting there. I think if we assess the progress, I think we went back a bit in 2019 as compared to 2015 for obvious reason, but that is not to throw the baby away with the bathwater. I actually think we've made some progress, but there is still a lot of ground for us to cover.
All right, going into, because there will be an election this year in Edo State, and these are some of the staggered elections that we expect before the general election in 2023. What do you envisage that there should be some experimentation of, by way of making progress from where we are right now?
Yeah, I think the politicians will help us a lot. And one of the ways they will help us is to ensure that that process is not a do or die affair. One, I think I am not sure of the registration process, the state of the register, the electoral register as it stands now, because that is the plank on which a good election is resting. So we're not sure of what state that is, but I hope at some point, you see, people talk so much about electronic voting. I am not sure that we've got any example in any leading democracy all over the world. I live in the United Kingdom. I can't tell you that our election remains manual from start to the end of that election. They move the ballot from location to location. So I think people should take the election as not a do or die affair. The police have got a role to play. I am not sure the army have got a role to play. I want an election where there will be no army. So I think the populace needs to be sure of what they want, and the politician, we need their cooperation. If you don't win it this time, you might win it the next time. It shouldn't be a do or die affair. But right. I'm not very optimistic about the way the whole thing is going now, especially with the sort of rhetorics coming out from Edo State. I'm not very optimistic.
Okay. All right. One other thing Nigerians have been talking about is the number of political parties, where we have over 90 political parties. Some people still feel that we should cut down on all of these things, merge some of the political parties together. The ones that cannot stand or cannot win any election anywhere in the country should be allowed to be delisted and all of that. But that has caused some level of controversy here and there. What's your take on this?
Unfortunately, that is a legal thing. The fact is that we cannot, it's a constitutional matter. We cannot unilaterally ask people to, I mean, not to contest. But the truth is that it is not healthy. It takes our time. It takes our money. It makes the process so cumbersome. The period, the time you used to mention even those who scored nothing. That it speaks a lot to the fact that we don't really value time. If we value time, we will not be reading about 15 political parties who scored less than 10 votes. So they need to do something about that. The truth is that it is a constitutional matter. Our National Assembly needs to move very quickly on that.